Okay, so the first step of the metabolic rehab method is, and I love that this is the rehab method. Like we need to rehab your metabolic function, right? We don't need to diet. We don't need to lose weight, even though I know that you guys want to lose weight, but we have to rehab your metabolic system. I really hope that that makes sense, okay? Um, and so that's what I do. Like I help you guys get to the root of the problem and fix that so that your body starts effectively burning fat again. And you start to not just temporarily lose some subcutaneous fat and some water and a lot of muscle, but you actually set your body up to activate fat burning hormones that get your body burning fat while building muscle. As a result, you get fitter, leaner, and stronger, which is the whole goal, right? Fitter, leaner, stronger, healthier for life, metabolically and emotionally healthier. Because when you're dieting and restricting and chaotic eating and frustrated, it's a mental, it's too much. It's mentally exhausting. When you do this the right way, the metabolic rehab way, you don't have any of that. And you end up fitter, leaner, stronger, and healthier than you've ever been. I have women aging in reverse. It's awesome. Okay, because we're going to the root of the problem. So the first step is to reset your nutrition. We need to ditch diet culture. Diets don't work in this phase of life. It's not as simple as calories in, calories out. Okay. This isn't about deprivation, it's about nourishing, it's about blood sugar balancing. We need macro balanced plates, prioritizing protein, healthy fats, fibers, and smart carbs to stabilize blood sugars, reduce cravings, and enhance satiety. This balances insulin levels, it tames inflammation, it reduces fat storage. Okay. Meal timing, eating strategically the right food at the right times in the right balance to optimize insulin sensitivity and tame inflammation. A female body does best when well fed. Regular times, regular balance. Give the body stability and safety that's going to tame inflammation. Body will never burn fat when it's chaotic and inflamed. And the chaotic eating leads to inflammation and high cortisol, right? It's not going to work that way. This is going to prevent energy crashes and cravings, sets your blood sugars up to be regulated throughout the day, and it triggers fat burning hormones. We also want intentional eating. I teach my clients in this program how and why to eat to balance blood sugars, to um, and then we pair that with a lot of mindfulness. And so when you combine those, we've got mindful and intentional eating. We know how, we know why, and we're mindfully doing it. Because so often we're going through the day so quickly, we forget to eat. We're throwing food in our mouths. We're, eating without thinking about it. And that affects digestion. And then this is the classic, like, why do I know what to do and I'm not doing it? Right. And so we need a combination of intentional eating and mindful eating. We're not dieting. We're resetting your nutrition to support hormones, metabolism, and sustainable fat loss. Okay. We're balancing blood sugars. We're improving insulin sensitivity, working with your hormones, not against them. Everything in the rehab method is designed to do those things. But these are like the daily habits and the things that we need to do to fix the root problem, right? The root problem of that insulin resistance, that chronic systemic inflammation. The other thing about nutrition is you got to eat to build that muscle. If we're not eating to support our muscle growth, we've got one foot on the gas doing the workouts, and then we've got one foot on the brake because we're not eating enough. We're not eating the right balance. We need a protein forward, macro balanced, stable energy intake throughout the day. We got to be eating enough of the right food at the right time for the right reasons. Okay, so that's a big one as well. So step two of the rehab method is effective exercise. All exercise is good, all movement is good, but if we want to improve insulin sensitivity, and if we want to tame inflammation, if we want to build that muscle that we're losing because of our hormone changes, we got to be strategic and intentional. The workouts that we love and the workouts that make us feel good are not always the most effective workouts. And this is also where we bring in intentional training. Strategic and intentional training is what I talk about because I'm here to help you I'm here to help you rehab that metabolic function. And so we need strategic and intentional strength and conditioning. We got to build muscle. We got to, and muscle will help improve insulin sensitivity. Okay. Um, we got to build muscle, strategic, intentional, daily movement minimums. If you work out for 30, 40, 60 minutes, then you sit all day, it's not helping. Okay, we need to be moving more. Movement of the muscle helps facilitate the glucose uptake. It helps insulin do its job. Our body's designed to move. We were not designed for sedentary. So we need to hit our daily movement minimums. Okay, we've got to move more throughout the day. After meal movement is really important. Going for a walk, 10 minutes after eating, doing 20 squats, something to move the muscles to facilitate after meal blood sugars. Okay. Non-negotiable. I follow a hybrid training approach, combining strength training, metabolic conditioning, and functional movements, power training, HIIT training. HIIT can be the way I do HIIT. There's so many different versions of it, and we have to keep your hormones in mind, right? The hormone changes, because if we do too much, we create more inflammation. If we don't do enough, we're not helping our insulin function. And so I really work with my clients, each and every one of them, to come up with a program that works for them right now based on where they're currently at. But we need effective workouts. And so we need a balance in there. And so that's what we do in my program, because you get one-on-one feedback. Okay. And we have to be progressively overloading. You won't build muscle if you're lifting the same light weights all the time. You have to strategically increase the weight, progressively overload, burst harder. And we work in 5-week training blocks because we also have to make time for rest and recovery. We can't do too much because we need more rest and recovery in this phase. And so we work in 5-week training blocks. We choose a program that's going to meet us where we're at. It's going to hit all the things that we need to build the muscle and boost the fitness and move our body in the way it needs to build the muscle that we're losing, those type 2 muscles. We have to also keep up the cardio as well. It's important. It's all important, which is why I do hybrid training. We attack everything strategically and intentionally. But we go 4 weeks, focused, push, progressive overload. We take a week to rest and recover, tame that inflammation, regroup, take a break, and then we go again. And we do that over and over and over. It's very strategic. I say this all the time because it's important. It's not just random. I don't just do things I love. I do things that are effective. Personally, for me, I want to be fit, lean, and strong forever. I do not want metabolic dysfunction. And I know how to mitigate that. I understand it. So I train and I eat effectively. I train and I eat with strategy and intention. And I've learned to love this lifestyle, right? I've learned to love nourishing my body, protein forward meals, balanced meals, regular meals. I've learned to love every workout in my program. I've learned to love progressive overloading. I've learned to love it all because it also feels good. And I know it's getting me towards my long-term goals, which is to be a really fit, lean, strong, healthy old lady who's playing with my grandkids, right? I want to be the fittest one around. That's my goal. And so those are the things I do. Okay. Then we need to halt inflammation. Okay, so step 3 of the rehab method is we have to tame that chronic inflammation because it disrupts hormones, it increases cortisol, and it worsens insulin resistance, triggering more belly fat storage. I don't want it, right? We have to tame inflammation, halt inflammation. Ways we do that is just, again, the regular balanced meals, getting your nutrition and your workouts right will help you tame inflammation. You got to have enough recovery. That's why the 5-week training cycles work well, because we're pushing and we're recovering. We take rest periods between our sets, between our reps, between our inside of our workout weeks. We have rest days. We learn to work with our body and listen to it if it's really tired and sore and like we can feel that we need a break. We learn how to work with our bodies and listen to them and push when we can, but pull back when we can to halt inflammation. We work in 5-week training cycles to push and then rest and recover. That's going to help tame inflammation. Regular balanced meals throughout the day that tames inflammation. It creates a safe it's just safety. It brings safety to the body, which tames inflammation. Skipping and then overeating, restricting and then binge eating, being good all week and falling off the rails on the weekend, it's very inflammatory on the body. It's very stressful. And you'll never get anywhere when it comes to getting rid of that belly fat permanently and reversing the metabolic dysfunction if that's how we're going. So we've got to normalize all that. All that's going to help halt inflammation. Everything I teach helps halt inflammation, but we also have to optimize our circadian rhythm. We've got to work with our natural, with the natural sleep and wake cycles. Okay, real important. We have to detox cortisol. Okay, we have to understand our stressors and our life, and life's always going to be stressful, but we have to learn how to manage that stress. And that's unique to every single person. And that's stuff that we work on in the program. You learn about it, and then in the ups and downs of life, right? We have to learn how to manage and navigate the ups and downs of life without completely going off the rails. It's really important to detox that cortisol effect. We have to be able to handle the stress of life, or we're just an inflamed hot mess, storing fat, feeling miserable. This includes boundary setting, and like for some people, it includes a total life overhaul. You have to begin to protect your mental and emotional health in this phase of life to tame that inflammation. Sometimes it means letting things go, setting some boundaries, changing jobs. Sometimes like, but you just have to start to get like relentless, and you have to start setting some boundaries for yourself. You can't just be leaking energy everywhere. And one of the ways we do this is through learning to master emotions and through studying our stress, right? Learning how to manage stress, how to be, how to make some of those changes. It's really important. This is not just about food and exercise. Stress is caused by your boss, your job, traffic, the commute, your environment, like all of it. We need to tighten it all up in this phase of life to tame inflammation, because an inflamed, hot, chaotic body and mind, it will never, you'll never drop body fat that way. Okay, so halting inflammation is essential. It's a core component of every single thing I teach in the program. Step 4 of the metabolic rehab method is act like this matters. Attack your excuses, adopt a growth mindset, align your goals with your actions. Okay, assume success. This is personal development work, and it's essential because once you know what to do, we have to do it consistently. And that begins like with acting like it matters, right? We don't have time, and we put ourselves off, and it doesn't really matter that much. And I gotta take care of everyone else but myself. That's how we get into this mess, right? You've got to start acting like you matter, like taking care of your body matters. It's a really big one. This is the personal development part of the program. We need self-awareness. We need to develop, we need to study our bad habits. We need to study our own excuses. We need to start to study ourselves objectively and learn how to rewrite our stories, rewrite our limiting beliefs, rewrite our excuses, catch ourselves, coach ourselves, be self-compassionate, but self-disciplined with ourselves. Okay, that's what the A is about. And it's mostly personal development work. Personal development work has to be part of the program when you want to permanently lose belly fat. Otherwise, you'll just never do the work. And knowing what to do isn't enough. You have to know what to do, then you have to do it through all the ups and downs of life. You have to learn how to figure that out. Adaptability, resilience, growth mindset. We have to stop saying, I know what to do, right? You have to be open to learning new things and doing things a different way and getting some help and mentorship. Because if you haven't got this figured out yet, there's stuff you don't know, and you might need some help. And so you have to work on the inner game. This is personal development work. And in my opinion, it's the most important part of the program. It's the most transformational part of the program. And it's what's going to not only get you results, but it's going to be what helps you keep the results you get. And you will start aging in reverse. You will start metabolically reversing the damage, right? But it takes time. And so another part of the A is aligning your expectations with realities. This belly fat did not accumulate in 4 weeks. It's probably been accumulating long before you noticed it. It's probably been decades. It's not going to disappear in 4 weeks. It's not going to disappear by just restricting carbs and eating very little. It's going to take time. And that's one of the realities of my program. I tell people, I don't know how long it's going to take. It's going to take as long as it takes. And you have to commit to the process. You have to understand what you're doing. You have to commit. You have to focus on the behaviors. You have to bring joy to the behaviors that you're doing every day, right? You can't just focus on the end result, because I don't know how long it's going to take. Nobody can tell you how long it's going to take. Diet culture programs will say, you're going to lose 20 pounds in 4 weeks, right? Sure, just don't eat anything. Great. That's not going to get you long-term results. You'll never permanently get rid of that belly fat and permanently reduce your metabolic risks doing that and expecting that. And that's why my program is lifetime access, because you need this information. You need to keep going. Like you need to stay. You need to stay on it. And so number 5 is consistency. You need to build consistency and resilience. Consistency is the key to permanent results. So A was like awareness, self-awareness, and personal development. And then B is build consistency. Okay. Without it, you'll stay stuck on and off. And on and off leads to inflammation. On and off leads to chaos. You need emotional regulation to build consistency. Got to learn how to master your emotions. We're going to be falling off track all the time. I always say life is, well, I've heard Brooke Castillo is someone I listen to a lot. And she says life is 50-50. Half the time it's great. Half the time it's a gong show, right? If you don't know how to manage life and stay on track when life is hard, 50% of the time you're off track. Of course, you're not going to get results. You'll never get results that way. But then in the good times, half of that time, it's like we're partying, it's Christmas, it's birthdays, it's holidays. So you're eating and drinking whatever you want to. It's like 75% of the time we're off the rails. We have to learn how to manage all that so that we do what our body needs us to do. We need to learn to manage the emotions, prevent stress eating, fun eating and drinking excessively, impulsive decisions, and self-sabotaging behaviors. Okay. We need to understand our bad habits and rewire them. We need to learn to focus. This is one of the biggest things, because there'll come an ad on Facebook, right? Oh, there's an ad for this 3-day fasting challenge and I can lose 20 pounds, right? We have to wait a minute. I got to focus, right? Or we get so busy, we're not doing the program. We're not doing the workouts. We're not cooking the meals. We're not doing the thing. We're off track. And then we're beating ourselves up and hopping on another program. We've lost focus. You forgot why you started. You forgot all this stuff. You have to learn to stay focused, develop laser sharp focus. These are skills to build. I teach you this in the program, and I provide you with learning modules to listen to. I encourage you to listen to them every week because I want you to stay focused. Coaching calls, come to them as your check-in, right? Helps you stay focused. If you sign up and never come, I know that you're not focused. I've lost you. But I can't be the one that holds you accountable. You have to look to develop the internal skills. You need self-coaching skills to become consistent. Because what to do is really easy once you learn it. It's how do I do it consistently? How do I stay focused? How do I stay emotionally grounded? I teach self-discipline at the end of my program, because we have to have all these other things first. And then self-discipline comes as a result of that, but we talk about it later. But building consistency and resiliency and adaptability, so you can I always tell people you don't have to be perfect. Perfect is different than consistent. You have to do pretty good most of the time. Got to know what to do, which I teach you in the beginning. And then you have to learn how to do pretty good most of the time. You don't have to get it perfect. I'm not perfect. I don't do this perfectly, and I have incredible results because I know what to do and I do it pretty good most of the time. I'm super self-aware. I've rewired my bad habits. My conscious goals are completely in line with my subconscious programs. I'm insanely consistent. I'm a great self-coach. I don't even say that I'm self-disciplined. This is just who I am because of the work I've done to get here. That's where I take you guys. That's the work we do. Knowing what to do is not that hard. That's the boringest part of my program. It's the rest of the work. It's the conversations, it's the coaching, it's the deeper modules. I always tell people that when they join, I wish that I could take what I know and infuse it into you. I wish I could take the way that my brain is wired around this stuff and I could just infuse it into you. So you just wake up every day and go, and your habits are completely in alignment with burning this fat and supporting your metabolism. But I can't do that. So this is the best way that I know how to do it. I created the modules, listen to them. There's no tests, it's just you have to listen. That helps you get focused. You have to start applying some of the principles, catching your bad habits, catching your negative self-talk, catching yourself emotionally eating, catching yourself losing focus, and shifting it, bringing it back, rewiring your brain so you can stay consistent. You can do the things you know you need to do, even when life feels hard, even when you've fallen off track. You can get back right up, go back to the strategies that are going to reverse your metabolic dysfunction. You're not going to get caught in shiny. You find yourself going towards that next restrictive diet, then you catch yourself and you bring it back. No, that's not going to help. It's not solving the root of my issue. I want permanent changes. I want to be a fit, lean, strong, healthy old lady. I got to take care of my metabolic health. I got to reverse my insulin resistance. I got to tame my inflammation. I got to build that muscle. I got to train and eat to build that muscle and fitness, right? So this is all like, these are all the soft skills of permanently reducing belly fat. And this is why most people struggle. It's why 88% of the population is metabolically unwell, because we don't do this. We just eat less. I used to work in joint replacement administration, waitlist administration, and I hear it all the time. You know, when my doctor told me I have to lose weight so I can have surgery because I'm too high of a surgical risk. I said, well, what are you going to do? They're like, I need another surgeon. I said, well, what have you done to try to lose weight? Well, I just stop eating. I'm like, well, that's not going to work. You know, that's most people's subconscious response to having to lose weight and to belly fat, to being frustrated and hating your body. I'm just going to stop eating. It doesn't work. We're losing the muscle. It's not going to work. It's not supporting that metabolism. So I can go on and on about this. The metabolic rehab method is designed to reverse insulin resistance, to tame systemic inflammation, to build lean muscle, and to boost metabolic function for life. It helps get you fitter, leaner, stronger, healthier inside and out. Okay, we address the root causes of belly fat. I don't know how long it's going to take to get results on the outside. It's going to take as long as it takes. Everyone is so unique. And I do not promise that you're going to lose this amount of belly fat. You're going to go from this to this magic transformation in a certain period of time. But I do guarantee that you're going to know what to do and that you're going to you're going to get access to learning the skills you need to do it, right? To stay with it. And this strategy works because it's a root cause solution. It targets the underlying causes of stubborn belly fat, including insulin resistance, hormonal imbalances, inflammation, muscle loss, and mindset. Mindset's huge. That's the inner work. That's the consistency work, okay? That's why it works. It's comprehensive. It's balanced. It's long-term. I'm not giving you false expectations. I'm setting you up with the reality. It's going to take time. It's going to take effort. You're going to fall off track. And I used to do this program in 16 weeks, but what I realized in 16 weeks is that people think of it at 16 weeks. It's a challenge. And if they fall off track or they lose Something always happens in life. I go on a trip. Um, we've had so many things, right? Divorce happens, parents pass away, people get sick, all kinds of crazy things happen, and they feel like they failed. I didn't get to really use the program and it didn't work, or I didn't get to use it and I feel like a failure. And I don't want that because there's no timeline on this. So I've made some recent changes and it's now access for life. Okay, coaching for life. You can come back at any time and hop on a call and say, Carrie, this is what happened to me. I need to get started again. What do I do? You guys need that. Otherwise, you hop to the next crappy program. And this program works really effectively like nothing else. But life isn't easy. It's up and it's down, and you're learning the skills, and it takes time to learn the skills, and you've got to come back. Don't come back every January. We work in 5-week training blocks. Every 5 weeks is an opportunity to come back, to get started again. Okay, this is what happened in life, and I fell off track, but I'm back. And so I really love that part of the program. And then you get access to all my workout programs and um, live group coaching calls and the curriculums. Like I said, I've created this comprehensive program. The curriculum, there's no rush, and that's why I don't want the 16 weeks either. I don't want you guys to rush through it. I want you to know that it's there and use it as you can and go back to it. And there's just so much value in there. And then sometimes I'll come up with something new that I want to add in there because I've learned something new, or I've worked with so many people through a common issue that I know I'm like, oh my God, I need to create a module on nervous system regulation. They need to understand this. So I'll create a new course, I'll study, I'll create a new course, I'll put it in. You're going to get access to all those updates. Okay. This is how you permanently get rid of belly fat. Not by dieting, not by restricting, not by over exercising, but by working with your body and reverse and working on the root cause of the belly fat, right? Reversing the insulin resistance, taming the inflammation, working with your hormones, not against them, building the muscle, reversing the metabolic dysfunction. Okay, belly fat is not just about aesthetics. It's not about the weight on the scale. It's about metabolic dysfunction. It's a huge risk factor for serious health consequences that make your later years in life miserable. And I learned that from, again, my years working in the hospital. I don't want to spend my 60s, 70s, and 80s suffering when I know better. I know how to take care of my body. I'm very lucky. I'm very fortunate to have this education. And now you have this education. I always say, if you don't know better, it's hard to make changes. But when you know better, you can do better. And that's really important. You can't diet this away. You can't out exercise belly fat. You need a strategic, science-based, intentional approach to get rid of this permanently. That's the key. Permanently reverse your metabolic age. What my clients are doing. That's why I created the metabolic rehab program. Okay. It's not another weight loss program. It's metabolic rehab. It's about getting fitter, leaner, stronger, and healthier at the cellular level, physically and mentally. It's about reversing insulin resistance, halting inflammation, and creating hormonal harmony. If you're ready to stop dieting and you don't, so if you want to prevent this cascade of metabolic dysfunction and health risk, this is the way to do it. If you've already been diagnosed with prediabetes or diabetes or hypertension or something, again, talk to your doctor, of course, but this is the work that you can still do. We all need to do this no matter where we are across the spectrum. Okay. If you're early, we're going to stop the progression. If you're already diagnosed, we're going to reverse it. We can do that. We can rehab that. Okay. The hormone changes in menopause aren't the problem. It's about learning how to work with them strategically. And the truth is, the longer you wait, the harder it becomes to reverse the metabolic damage. Okay, the harder it becomes to build the muscle, the harder it becomes to get rid of the belly fat, that internal visceral belly fat. Your body doesn't get more forgiving with age. It gets harder and harder. And the sooner you start, the better. And it's never too late to start. It's never too late to start to reverse this when you do it right. Okay. And so That's our presentation today. What was the name of the presentation now? It was the consequences of the serious health risks of belly fat and how you can get rid of it permanently. Okay, I think we went through everything, right? We talked about visceral fat, what it is. We talked about how it's not about aesthetics, it's about health. We talked about how belly fat contributes to inflammation and metabolic dysfunction. And it's an endocrine hormone that secretes hormones and inflammatory molecules. We talked about the health risks, the serious health risks associated with the serious health consequences associated with this belly fat. We talked about why women in midlife, perimenopause and menopause are more susceptible and more at risk of gaining this visceral fat. We talked about lifestyle factors that compound the problem, putting your health at risk. We talked about the common mistakes women make. We talked about, so what do you do? We talked about how to do a little self-assessment to see if you are at risk. Talked about checking in with your doctor and what tests to ask him or her for. And then we talked about my strategic holistic root cause, root attack to help you permanently get rid of belly fat, how to permanently start burning it by going to the root of the problem, reversing that insulin resistance, working with your hormones, not against them, taming the inflammation, building the muscle, and restoring your metabolism. Talked about the metabolic method that I run all my clients through. Okay. That's it. I hope you found that valuable. I thought that was really great. I had fun putting this together. I just had fun. I really had fun recording it. This is something I'm really, really passionate about. I see people, I just worked in healthcare for so long, and I just know that so much is reversible. We've got to work with our doctors and use medications where we need them, but we really have to take ownership of ourselves. We need to attack the root cause of the problem. And there is so much that you can do when you know what to do, you know why to do it, and you do it with consistency. Okay. Effective and strategic training, nutrition, and mindset work. It's a game changer, and it can totally reverse this metabolic damage that you're struggling with. And again, I don't know how long it's going to take. I'll never make that promise. It's going to take as long as it takes. And for some people, all we're doing is stopping it so it doesn't progress, which is awesome. You're still going to feel better. But you can metabolically age in reverse. And my clients feel it all the time. I feel better. I've never felt this good. Right. And that's because we're doing this strategically, intentionally, and going to the root of the problem. And so if you're interested in joining the program, absolutely, I'll put the link, send me a message. Like I said, it's lifetime access. So it's not like, oh, I don't know, it's not a good time. Just get the program and start listening, right? The next, we do work in the 5-week training blocks. You're going to get training programs. Those start every 5 weeks, but you can join right now and start diving into the material, start getting focused, start learning, start coming to coaching calls and asking questions. The sooner you start, the better. The longer you sit on this, the more diets you go to, the more you ignore this, the harder it gets to reverse. And so I would love to see you in the program. I'd love to help you. I'd like to help you take action. Because knowledge without action is spinning your wheels. You need to combine the knowledge with action. I believe coaching and support is essential. Questions come up. I could give you the program, and I've done this before. I give someone the program, they don't do anything with it. And so it's where the coaching comes in. That's where the calls come in. But you have to be an active participant in this. I'm not your accountability partner. I don't do that. I teach you. I got to teach you the skills, and you have to decide that this matters. Remember, act like this matters and show up for yourself. Sign up, open the module, ask me questions if you have them. Put the coaching call in your calendar, book the time off of work, book the day off of work, take a break for yourself and come. Stay focused, do the work, ask questions. Okay. So I hope you like that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I hope to see you inside. And if you don't join, I still hope you learned a ton. And I hope that you're not going to diet anymore and that you're going to work on reversing that insulin resistance so that you can burn that belly fat. Take care.